Only thing I would be open to shorting is Apple off this level. Not really touching anything on the video until we approach this weekly 184 or breaking retest over 191.05. So as you can see, kind of just sitting, shopping, consolidating. Um, let's see. Yeah, Apple's the only one I'm really open to shorting off this level, right? If we can get a retest. Not looking to short anything on Tesla if we're sitting above uh, 410. Nothing on AMD unless we get over this 227 or pull back off this 209. Right? NVIDIA is pretty much chopping around. That's why I really didn't want anything on that name. Apple is really the only name that I'm willing to short off this weekly. Good bounce overall on the market, right? If I can see Tesla give us a break and retest over this 423.15, I do like it. I'm really looking to, we're gonna be patient here, honestly. Really trying to read this. If Apple can get over this, I do like this over this weekly level. Um, I'm just looking for more of a displacement candle closure here on Tesla before I even look to the long. Now, if Apple can give us a pretty good displacement, retest continuation higher, I like it. Spine the keys, kind of just chopping around a little bit. Really, a lot of these names are clearly NVIDIA just chopping. Tesla just chopping. So just be mindful. See, I could look to short off this, but the market's pulling back, and Apple's holding fairly strong, right? And on the 15-minute candle, that is a big wick, right? Buyer stepped up aggressively here. If you could see this 15-minute candle, that would make the most sense. Right? We can get like a break, good displacement retest over Apple. I like it. I do like a long here on Tesla, but I would need more of a displacement candle closure. Not really focused on the video. Like this would be a valid short off this weekly level, but the way that 15-minute candle looks with buyers stepping in aggressively, I don't like it. That's the only reason why I'm not taking that. So really the main two I'm watching right now is Tesla and Apple, because they're just both at key levels that I'm looking to take a trade off of. And if you watched a pre-market plan video yesterday, you would know why. As long as we're above 410 on Tesla, we're really just not looking to short this name. So that 410 was a big hold. Um, Spy in the Qs, pretty much consolidating. they are both also within the previous, I'm sorry, the pre-market high and low. So really no continuation right now. I'm starting to see a little something like this on Tesla, right? If we can get a good displacement and retest, I like it. Even Apple, right? Like this is a weekly level. I would love that. Big buyer stepping in here on Qs and SPY. This candle can close up here. I really like it. Even watching Apple. Good. This is what I wanted to see here on Tesla. Now just looking for a pullback entry. 430. What is this sitting at right now? For high day is 426. Kind of like these 430 calls. SPY and the Q is really chopping right now. Not surprised, right? Like I said, you could have went short off this, but didn't really like that with the 15-minute. Now that we got a new 15-minute candle under here, right, I will now look for a pullback off that. Watching Tesla here. Giving this a shot on Tesla. Look, it's pushing, so I'm gonna see if we hold. If not, just a bad PA day. That was a good shot. Yeah, a little divergence here because um what am I trying to say? Q's is pushing to the upside. Tesla isn't. That was a that was a good loss. I was those contracts held up fairly well. I played 2 strikes out of the money there. Mm, maybe could have been a little bit more patient there. So, we'll see. Overall, just kind of choppy price action too. So that's a good shot. I like that. Right, good displacement candle. Buyer stepped up here. I'm curious what the IV is on Tesla. 60. Yeah, those contracts held up fairly well. As you can see down here, 2K loss, like on the dot. Because I played what did I play? I played the 230 calls, which looked good because high day was already 226. So I was I wanted that. It's a Monday, so I'm pretty much one and done, but I do want to see how this plays out. Q's is looking pretty good. It's trying to get over 599. I'll just round it to 600. And 610 is the high of day. So Q's had a very good V-shaped recovery. Yeah, it just broke through high day. So you see the overall tech names is lagging a little bit. Pretty much just a choppy day. Or we've only been open for 20 minutes, so but you can see we're kind of just sitting in the range. Probably prematurely stopped out here. Yeah, my thesis was correct. So we'll see if this plays out. Apple is respecting this weekly very well, as you can see its resistance. Yeah. Let's see. I would love to see Tesla kind of gravitate towards this high day. QQQ and Spire both just broke through high day. So you can see we got a little bit of a lag going on here. Maybe Nvidia is starting to pick up. Maybe. But we'll see. I mean, two 15-minute candles, bullish and green. AMD looks really good. Really sitting dead smack in the middle of his range, right? In between the previous high, I mean, the pre-market high, the pre-market low, previous day high, previous day low. So I would love for it to get over this 2273 target, previous day high, and hopefully it can gravitate towards all-time highs. Nvidia looks good. I like my trade on Tesla. I do. I just have to respect my stop loss. All right, got a little bull flag stand up. I mean, I could look to re-enter this, to be honest. But when it comes to the price action, it's really not the best, right? We're not doing much. Hopefully this skip seems like makes sense here on Apple, right? It's very important to like look at the higher time frame when you're trading. Because on the 15-minute, this did not look good. Like buyer stepped up very aggressively. This was a big wick. You can see we retested, but for sure not even gravitating towards this lower day. So I do like this trade that I took on Tesla. Right, Q's and SPY looks really good. As soon as this came in, I was like, yeah, I'm out. Yeah, it's a Monday, so I have time on my side. So that's why I played. What did I play? Two strikes or three strikes out of the money? I played the 230 calls, right? Most volume, most open interest. It's a Monday, so time's on my side. I really like this because the high day was already what 226. Yeah, these contracts move in your favor, you're getting paid. So 2000 on the dot, that was like a 10% loss. That was perfect. That was like right on the dot. I'm very happy with that trade. But it's a Monday right after that big sell-off, so we'll see. I can tell you the last time I got like a whole number for a stop loss. 2000 flat. It's crazy. Yeah, I may sit here till like 7:30 just so we can get some tape. Retest price action. It's funny because SPY and Qs actually look really good, and these tech names aren't really following with it. Like QQQ is very bullish right now. It just broke through the high day, still going. Same thing for SPY. So SPY and the Qs are pretty much in sync. Um, Nvidia looked like it was going to go, but buyer stepped in. I mean, seller stepped in at this high day. My thesis was valid here. Stopped out a little too early. Right once I saw this, I was like, yeah, I got to get out. Always easier to say in hindsight because this went red to green, right? So this is 2 4 6 minutes of just bearish. Gave this room a little bit. So, but I like my thesis, right? Just not the best price action today, to be honest, but I like my thesis. Barely got stopped out. It's a Monday. The week is early, so I'm not really looking to re-enter this, right? Like that doesn't look right. That's a range, right? That's just a range. I like the trade though, right? Break, retest. Um, where did I enter? Here, buyer stepped up here. I was very patient for my entry, took my shot, got stopped out. But you can see we are respecting this 423.15. We are holding this as support. So that's what I love to see. Nothing going on here on Apple. Nothing going on here on Apple. Oh yeah, QQQ and SPY. I mean, I guess I'd rather see these two run. Um, crazy, crazy. Both look really, really good. That makes me happy to see starting the week off this way. I'm just shocked that all the tech names really aren't doing much. Yeah, there's nothing for me on AMD until we get to 227. Maybe if NVIDIA can get over this 191.05, maybe. Um, on the 15 minute, you'll see why this is a no trade zone for me. Rightfully so, right? We didn't do anything in here, consolidate. Even after we kind of got like a good displacement candle closure, never really retested. But this shot I like, right? Targeting all-time highs. Like that's a clear shot. There's nothing in its way. Yeah, QQQ and SPY starting to trend. So, I took the shot with both SPY and Qs just rallying. Um, just not following the market, right? So I think NVIDIA's starting to try and do his own thing. So we'll see. And then something like this, right? Like, even though I got stopped out, remember all this is noise, right? Even if, I held this trade and we start to chop around, like I have to sit in that, right? My thesis is valid as long as, we're holding this 423.15. But really just a chop day on Tesla, right? 426, 419. Yeah, it's not doing much. Remember, Tesla's a name that, on average can really move 12 to 15 to 15 to 20 bucks in a single day, average, right? So, like playing these calls, that was a valid shot. Like that's even the volumes went up, 2,000 more, since I took it, right? 430 calls, very nice. Because if you're just targeting the high day, you're already sitting at, 426. Um, so for a name like Tesla, that's really not too far off the money. On Mondays and Tuesdays, you typically want to go what, one, two to three strike prices out. Like that's normal. That's fine for a name like Tesla. Clearly relative strength here on NVIDIA. So yeah, but Q's and SPY looks really good. Really, really good. Yeah, nothing going on AMD. Unfortunately, nothing here on Apple. NVIDIA is still sitting slightly under its pre-market high. It's right at it actually. Right, that's the pre-market high. Actually, this is the pre-market high. That's the pre-market high, right? So on the intraday, looks good, but it's really just sitting in a range in between the pre-market high, pre-market low. Like I said, I don't trade off those levels, but I use them as context reference, right? So if we get a break over 191.05, I like it. We're over the pre-market high, we're over this daily, and there's nothing in its way to the upside, right? And after we get over this, there's a lot of thin volume up there that has to be filled. So this is something it's really the only thing I like setting up, right? There's nothing here. There's nothing here. I like my shot here, right? You saw we got a big displacement candle closure, retest, buyer stepped in here. Um, but I got stopped out quickly. But nothing here as well. We shall see. But yeah, if you watch the breakdown video of the pre-market that I had yesterday, as long as we were above 410 on this name on Tesla, we are not looking to short this. We are not looking to short this. Right, we are holding this. Just choppy day. I'm actually quite baffled how well the SPY and the Qs are moving and the tech names aren't. At least what I'm watching. Video looks good. Video looks good. We see all these wicks, right? We are defending this 423.15, right? We are defending this very well. So I have to respect my stop loss, right? I would say maybe the only thing I would do a little differently is probably wait really for like a candle closure, right? But even then, right, I don't want my stop loss to be too big. 10% is perfect. Like that's my sweet spot. 10 to 12%. If I'm really trying to give a trade some room, like my max stop loss is 20%. Because I don't have a hard stop. See? Like this 423.15 looks good. It's just unfortunate. These names aren't really following because SPY and Qs are kind of rallying right now. Yeah, these things are rallying. That's good though. I want this to set the tone for the week. Beautiful. The video looks good. My only hope is when we get up here to this 191, we don't get a little bit exhausted. And then this is pretty much in sync with QQQ. And Qs is approaching 602.87, which is a daily resistance level in the previous all-time high, right? So, we could expect a little bit of a pullback as we push into the 602.87 here on the Qs, right? But as you can see, right, Tesla, Apple, literally just doing nothing, especially Apple, right? But you can see Apple really to the dot. Look at these wicks respecting this weekly level. So as of now, this is a weekly, I guess, term resistance, right? But this is why I didn't want to short this name, right? It looked good, displacement, candle closure. You see sellers step in here, right? This looked a little promising, but a name like Apple, like you have to wait until it hits its profit target because this little move is not going to pay you, right? And then we're consolidating a little bit. Apple's a slow mover, so I really did not even want to short this name. If we reclaim this, maybe, but just a super slow mover, right? Look at that, like it's just a super slow mover. Like I would need something like this on Apple, even get me interested, like a good displacement like that. See this that I took on Qs, I'm sorry, on Tesla, this is what I wanted, to strong displacement candle, right? Buyers are saying, hey, I'm here, I am here. And then even though I stopped out, you can see we did hold this, right? We did hold this, we ended up holding this. So I would 100% take this trade again, especially how SPY and the Qs are looking. Like my goal as a trader, every time I take a trade, even in hindsight, right? Because everything's easier to say in hindsight, I always want to look back and say I would 100% take this trade again, even if I lost. This is my entry criteria that's winning, 8 times out of 10. Today it didn't. And then, some people go and tilt, or you see we get a break and retest again and they try it again. No, I'm not looking to do that, So I took a good loss, a good shot. Nice recovery. Context was there. Took it off a higher time frame key level. Beautiful. I would 100% take this again. So remember how I just said Qs is pushing into this previous all-time high, this 602.87, and we can see a pullback. That's literally what's happening right now. Literally what's happening right now. Right, and then there's a time and a place for everything. Even though we can see buyers are really trying to defend this this 423.15, right? Buyers are definitely trying to defend this. See what bull flag right there, right? Like it's defending this. This was a good shot. I would 100% take that again. But like price action's everything, right? Monday's data don't really count, right? Like on a Monday it doesn't count. That's why my contracts move very well. Like I played, I had a 2,000 loss on this, and I played 3 strike prices out of the money, right? On a name like Tesla, and I had a pretty decent stop loss. And for us to only pull back and only like these contracts out very well, but it's because it's a Monday, right? So you don't really have to worry about theta, right? As the week goes on, you want to get closer in the money, right? Like this is a good, it's trying. See, it's trying. If I didn't stop out here, I would still have to sit in this, but just nothing going on. Yeah, there's really nothing going on. Very unfortunate on Tesla because I set this in my pre-market. Tesla really hasn't been doing much. Last week, only on Monday and Tuesday, when we broke over the 445, that was the only time we really saw some clean price action and upside. Other than that, really not much. I'm really happy with this recovery here on NVIDIA. We're still intact to the upside. Reclaiming this weekly level during the pre-market, beautiful. Really wanted to see that. Very, very happy. I was looking at the 15-minute here. Very important. Because if I wasn't looking at the 15-minute, right, this looks like a very solid. Like technically, this is a correct trade, right? You're playing off a weekly level. There's nothing in its way to the downside. That's a good shot, right? That's a valid short entry, right? Look at that candle, retest downside, but the way that 15-minute time frame looked, just no way I'm taking that. Right, this is where traders get smoked. I think where I've really taken off in my game and my profits taken off and all that is really dedicating myself to one trade a day, right? One trade a day. And that is part of my edge. It helps you over a period of time, right? Let's say I took this trade 2,000, lost. Let's say I took it again, right, on this break and retest. Understanding that, okay, this price action doesn't look good and I lose again, now I'm down 4,000 on the day. And then tomorrow I go into the trading day and I get a decent win. Now I'm like, what, break even on the week or a little bit green? That's really how you should think, right? I'll let my trades come to me. I take them off my key level. I win, I move on. I lose, I move on. I do not dwell, right? This was a good shot. When you watch this video, right, and you correlate this with the Qs and the SPY, it's amazing, right? So just this did not follow, which is 100% normal, right? It just didn't follow. Going into the week, I would really love for Apple, even if the price action is trash today, I would just love for it to reclaim and hold this weekly. I would love for that. Even Apple, right now, actually, it's under its pre-market low. So this 247 is like a really big key level here. So we're starting to get a 15-minute candle break over this. If we can get that candle closure over this, I like it. one of those days, just not a, let's see, I entered here. I would say, yeah, we didn't even get back over the swing high. I entered 423. Yeah, we didn't get back over the swing high. It's a really good shot there. I like it. Got to be able to be a good loser, right? That was a good shot. Let's see. Yeah, see nothing here. My game plan here was really a pullback long, really off of this, like this weekly, right? If you watch my pre-market plan, uh, this weekly level was like really a big level, right? So we're sitting dead smack middle of this range. Like there's nothing in here for me, right? Clearly, right? Like there's nothing in here. So the highest probability setup is really, right, a break over this previous all-time high, right? Nothing in its way to all-time highs, right? That'd be beautiful, right? See something like that, right? That is beautiful. That's textbook. So this is what I mean by, letting your trades come to you, right? AMD held up very well when we sold off. So this is not a name I'm looking to short unless we fall under this weekly, right? That's like a $30 plus gap fill to the downside. Other than that, we wait. Yeah. I'm gonna make the assumption that this was a misprint candle here on Apple, but right, it's a choppy day here on Tesla. Very choppy day. All right, this is my game plan. I'm sorry, this is A plus long. My apologies. Right, and when I do stuff like this and I'm looking at it on the 15-minute, like it's fine. Like my trades come to me, it's easier to read. Now, if you look here on the 15, right, buyers are trying to hold this, right? Look at the 15-minute time frame. That's why I took that shot. Which do the damage body tells the story. Buyers are defending this on the higher time frame. It's just today's a bad price action type day on Tesla. Very bad price action day. But this, right, this is why I took this shot. This is a very strong key level here, right? You can see buyers in real time are trying to defend this on the higher time frame. So I had to get out of that. Like I said, not looking to short this name as long as we are above 410. As long as we are above 410, I'm really just long buys here on Tesla. So we'll see how today cooks up. Yeah, but see, like on this 15-minute, this is why it's important to kind of look at this when you're also trading on the intraday, right? This looks great. I could have held this, but Monday, not really looking to be too aggressive. I took my shot, took my L, moved on, right? But my thesis was correct. As long as we were above 423.15, solid, right? So that gives me confidence going into the week, right? It's different when you take a loss and it's like, damn, I was just on the wrong side of the fence as a whole. Today is just a bad price action day. So understanding market conditions is everything, right? I would 100% take this again. Just choppy day, right? Look at this on the 15. We just can't get above 426.51 and 423.15. We're kind of just stuck in between that. So the video looks solid, right? The video looks solid. Clearly, this was my no trade zone for a reason, right? In between pre-market low, pre-market high, previous day low, just not a good range, right? Look at all this thin volume over here that has to get filled, right? Breaking retest over that, clear shot to the upside, nothing in its way. And then I was looking for a pullback long off this weekly. This was a big reclaim, right? We remember this. I broke this down in the pre-market video. So looks good and really not looking to short this name unless we fall under 179.45, right? So looks decent on the 15, right? First two 15-minute candles, and then now we see we're just chopping around a little bit. So Apple, right? Nothing. But this is why, right? That's why it's very important to look at the 15. Like this is a key level here, right? Nothing in its way to either side. The reason I said I didn't want to short this is because buyers stepped up aggressively here on the 15-minute, right? I don't care for that, right? And then we're also sitting between pre-market high, previous day low, right? So after a sell-off like that, a choppy Monday, it's kind of expected. But I'm very happy that the SPY and the Qs are moving. Like, let's look at this together. All right, look at that. Qs. I mean, this is amazing, right? That's beautiful. We reclaim this. We break over previous day high in the intraday. We are bullish. That looks really good. That's what I want to see. Same here with SPY, right? Look at that. Beautiful break retest over the key level. We break over the high of day, continue higher. So it's one of those days. It's a Monday, especially after a sell-off, but this looks really good. I didn't even look at Palantir. Let's see. That's some clean price action. Hello. Yeah, like I said, like, I'm once we break into this, I'm definitely looking to short this name. Pretty much done here. It's 7:20 for me. We're 44 minutes into the session. So once it's 7:30, I'll wrap this up. But hopefully, right, this helps. Like you explained a little bit. This was a good shot. I think on any other day we would have got that continuation here. On Tesla today just wasn't the day. Tesla's really not doing much. So this is why in the video was our no trade zone, right? I hope zooming out helps you understand. Even after we did get like some good displacement, right, we never really got a retest off this. So to each your own. If you would have tried to play a break and retest off the high of day, definitely would have got stopped out. Um, and then clearly nothing on Apple, right? So this is a choppy Monday session, right? Choppy Monday session. Yeah, big pullback here. Let's see. Yeah, so pretty much on the T, right? I said QQQ is approaching this previous all-time high, this 602.87. So if we see a rejection or pullback, don't be surprised. And right now what you're seeing is that, right, Q is approaching that 602.87. And we rejected that fairly well on the intraday. So that's what you're seeing right now. Yeah, so now, everything is to the downside. Everything is moving pretty much in sync with Tesla. I'm sorry, with SPY and the Qs. It's I'm sorry, 7:22 for me, so I'm pretty much out of here after this. Too sure. And like if you're a reversal trader, right? I mean, you could have played that. Um, Context matters. So, right, and this is how you take these high probability trades, right? If the higher time frame is saying that we're bullish and we're moving to the upside, I'm not looking to go against that trend, right? To each their own. Like for those who scout, by all means, you can do so. But for me, I'm looking for continuation to hold my place, right? Like you saw about 3 strike prices out of the money on Tesla, right? That goes my way. Those are very big returns, right? Because now those contracts are in the money, the premiums kicking in, all that good stuff. So, right, if you just watched the pre-market video that I posted coming into today's session, and it didn't make sense why we're really not looking to short any of these names, right? On the intraday, it looks different, but higher time frame, not. Like this 423 held very well. I tried. Um, Apple may be a little different, right? If we don't end the day above this 247.30, Apple will be a little different, to be honest. So we'll see how today ends on Apple. See this wick, like if we can get the body of this candle closed above today's session, wouldn't mind that. But like you can see, this is a key level to hold here, right? We did fill this gap. That looks good. We filled the gap. So, we'll see. And obviously, if we fall into this 241.30, clearly nothing in its way to the downside. So this is a big hold today on Apple. Right. And I hope this trade like makes sense while I took it, right? There was like I entered this trade like after a very strong bullish green candle, almost going back near high of day. We got our pull back to our key level, right? That's why I took that trade, right? I didn't get any candles like this. Like no, like this candle is showing me buyers are in control, right? Those are candles you want to look for. That's a breakout candle. That's a displacement candle, right? Body of the candle closure. Wait for that pullback. I saw buyer step in, was a little patient, right? Took my shot. The wick of this candle means the price did push up here, so it tried, right? And as you can see, as soon as I sold out, we did try and hold this level, right? Zoomed out on the 15-minute, right? Higher time frame, we are bullish, yo. Hope this trade makes sense, right? It'd be different if like I entered on like a terrible candle like this, right? The body of the candle closed here. That's not enough displacement for me, right? My key level is 423. Price pushes up to 425. Body of the candle closes at 424. Like that's a good shot. That's the displacement I'm looking for. So I hope that trade like makes sense, right? You don't want to just throw crap at the wall and hope it sticks. And you can see on the intraday, like our 423 got respected very well, right? Buyers did try this. Really nothing here on NVIDIA. It's dead smack middle of the range, right? So coming into today, I knew I didn't even want to go long off this. Like this was the high probability shot over this 191.05. So short session today, roughly an hour. I'm just trying to break down stuff just so those who are watching can like understand what I'm seeing and how I come up with my game plans. Yeah, nothing there. Right? You see what I mean when I'm saying like this is a key level to trade off of? Right? We fall under this, that's a $30 gap fill plus to the downside, right? But if we hold this, right, higher time frame context is still bullish, right? So this is how we avoid like crappy setups, right? There's nothing here. In the middle of the previous day high, previous day low, pre-market high, pre-market low. This is like there's nothing in this, right? There's nothing there for us. That's all noise. It's all noise. So choppy day just overall, right? Especially Apple, this looks terrible, literally terrible. I'm really hoping we can get a daily candle above this weekly close on Apple. If not, coming to the rest of the week, it really can just be short bias. Honestly, the video looks really good. I mean, the video is just like literally moving in sync with Tesla. In sync with Tesla. It's kind of crazy. I'm sorry, with QQQ, it's moving in sync with the Qs. And then Qs and the SPY are pretty much identical today. Literally identical. Let me show you this. All right, this is the Qs and the SPY. This identical, right? And I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. Good session, good shot. I'll take that again. Right, clear sky above, targeting this looked really good. Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up here. Hopefully, able to learn a thing or two. Oh, and then like for those who probably wonder, right? As we know, one of my favorite entry criteria or retest is when we pull back to a key level, we fell under it and we reclaim, right? But you have to wait for a proper displacement candle on that reclaim and then see what that next candle does, right? So we never got that. Like we never got that. This was like the best outside of the first 2 minute candle, which I do not trade the first 2 minute candle. This is really our best displacement candle, right? Look at every candle breaking this level compared to this one. This is what you want to see. So yeah, I'm gonna call it here. Hopefully you're able to learn a thing or two. See what I was seeing. So it's a Monday, choppy session. Hopefully something sets up for tomorrow.